Hey Nicholas, what's up, man? I was just checking out your shot. It looks fantastic. I was fishing through it, trying to find something to pick on, and there's really not much to say because you really have it broken down really, really well. I'm assuming you're in sort of some really, really late blocking phase. Maybe you're just one of those animators that waits to the last minute to put it in spline, because obviously most of this is still stepped. But what you have is really broken down and looking really good. The only part that might use some further clarification would be that when he whips the cards down, and I think it looks really good. I love how you're leading with the elbow and dragging the wrist and all that. But I feel as though like his body momentum has a little bit of a wobble in it, and I'm not entirely sure which direction he's whipping these cards in. Because you have him coming screen right, his body, up until frame, 114, 15. He starts to whip forward here. So on frame 116, he's moving screen right until 115, and then on 116, he pops to the left. And, if he's going to pop to the left like he's whipping to the left, I'd keep that forward, I'd keep that left momentum. But then his momentum starts to change forward, so he's kind of getting this, he's whipping in this sort of like circular. So I know what you're going for. Like you're trying to have him sort of whip in an arc almost. But like I said, since he's getting that sort of screen left momentum on 16, frame 116, he's coming this way really intensely. I feel like he'd keep coming this way. So either, have him extend his arm more this way and have pardon, I'm drawing with my mouse. It's horrible, I know. You can still have the cards in relatively the same area, basically, if you just extend his arm. That way, you can make that whipping motion stay to screen left, essentially, instead of going to screen left and then forward. And furthermore, in the beginning you establish that he's playing with two other guys, or at least a table full of people, because he looks this way. There's a guy on this side of the table, and there's a guy on that side of the table that, he's calling a cheater, so I think if he throws his cards down, it doesn't hurt to throw his cards down more to screen left here because there's other people on this side of the table. So it makes sense. And I think it makes more sense to have him whip to screen left rather than to change it so that the momentum is just forward and then he's tossing the cards more in the central area of the table, because then your silhouette isn't going to be as good probably. It's probably going to look better to, whip him back this way, have him hover there, and then whip him down. So instead of having him come forward here, he's whipping this way. With this arc. And I don't know what constraint setup you have up on these cards, and it's still in step, so I don't know, but I can see that cards intersect with his hat here and then pop. So you want to make sure that that's all clean. This hand right here is a little bit, I know it's Stewie and you really you can't do much with it, but I don't see his thumb. It might be good to see his thumb and then spread these fingers a little more so that it really looks like he's putting pressure on this hand, because he's pushing up with his hand to then whip down, so that showing the pressure on these fingers here, maybe even, lift the palm a little bit off the table and get that sort of cupped fingers pressing on the table thing, so you get, here's his palm, here's the first joint here, and then the fingers are making contact on the table. So here's your table surface, here's your palm, here's some of the fingers, and here's see what I'm saying? So you get that sort of pressure feeling on the fingers. Because right now he just has this, like I said, lobster claw kind of thing that he just kind of slides over. It's good because it's an IK and it feels like it's making contact, but maybe, just to add that little extra sense of pressure. And I'm seeing it in some of these other poses too, though. So the thing is, like right there. I like this thumb. See how his thumb's coming out? It looks like it has a little bit of pressure on it. That, same here. You get these little backwards curves in the fingers. That looks good. I like that. So a little bit more of that on this section might help. But and also when he whips his hat up, you're losing his eyes behind it for a second here. And I know you're overlapping the head forward, which is important. But yeah, I guess that's really not that bad because he's in the middle of that whipping motion. So it just works like a blink, essentially. But yeah, there you go, man. I hope some of that helps, dude, because it looks really good. So you got nothing to worry about, man. Have a good one, dude.